Waterboarding, sleep deprivation and prolonged isolation. The CIA's so-called enhanced interrogation techniques have never been much of a secret, but the agency has vehemently refused to call them torture.
This government does not torture people. You know, we stick to U.S. law and our international obligations.
He was, in fact, an integral part of the program. He had to approve it before we went forward with it. I think that he knew everything he needed to know and wanted to know about the program.
Well, Tuesday's report into the CIA's torture tactics has left former administration officials open to some damning allegations. They've been grilled by the media over the interrogation techniques authorized by ex-President George W. Bush in the wake of the September 11 attacks. Now, though, Washington wants to put the gruesome details in the past and move on, as Marina Portnaio explains.
This is what it looks like.
The world's most powerful nation finally admitting to a gruesome and brutal truth.
In contrast to CIA representations, detainees were subjected to the most aggressive techniques immediately. Stripped naked, diapered, physically struck, and put in various painful stress positions for long periods of time.
The shocking details surrounding the CIA's interrogation and detention program were revealed in a 525-page report unveiled by the Senate Intelligence Committee.
Releasing this report is an important step to restore our values and show the world that we are, in fact, a just and lawful society.
Human rights groups and the United Nations have renewed calls for accountability, but U.S. President Barack Obama, who banned torture upon entering office, says the country should look forward, not back.
I think it's important for us not to paint a broad brush about all the incredible, dedicated professionals in our intelligence community.
By not holding anyone accountable, critics say the U.S. leader is creating a dangerous state of affairs.
By choosing to move on, to forget about the past, not to prosecute the serious crime, Obama is keeping torture as a misguided, wrongful policy option for some future American president.
Meanwhile, the current CIA director is defending his agency, saying it did a lot of things right post 9/11. He's just not sure if that includes the use of so-called enhanced interrogation techniques.
We have not concluded that it was the use of EITs within that program that allowed us to obtain useful information from detainees subjected to them.
The CIA has been exposed. You can now see exactly what has been going on for years, what we've talked about for years, and it's clear that this is despicable behavior. This was a rogue operation run by a rogue agency.
And yet, no apologies are being issued, and no one is getting punished for what has been done.
In all of our conversations with countries around the world, we'll continue to convey that we ended this practice. It was one of the first steps the president made. We're willing to be open and transparent about our mistakes and make changes, and that's exactly what we did here.
Last one, basically going to say it's going to be kind of parental. Do as I say, not as I have done or do.
Actually, I think we made the decision to lay out very transparently what exactly we had done in the past that we didn't think was consistent with our values. And I think that's showing strength as a nation, and that's the conversation we'll have with countries around the world.
People will argue that showing strength is not just revealing this, but actually doing something about it.
I have nothing to add to what the Department of Justice has said.
Transparency may be a gross exaggeration by the Obama administration. You see, the redacted 525-page CIA torture report is just a summary, a tiny sliver of the full 6,700-page report being hidden from the public, completely classified, meaning what the world knows about America's past torture practices may be just the tip of the iceberg. Marina Portnaio, RT, New York.
So what exactly was edited out of the final version of the report? Well, firstly, the names of CIA personnel, keeping those who directly ordered or carried out torture in the shadows. Dates of critical events were also erased, making it impossible to determine when exactly the abuses took place. Nations that house secret CIA prisons are secret too. They're simply referred to as countries. Well, helping with the editing was America's closest ally in the war on terror. London admits parts of the report concerning Britain were redacted as well. However, Prime Minister David Cameron gave a clear signal on the issue, saying torture is wrong, it's always wrong. Marine Le Pen, leader of the French National Party, said the revelations are yet another reason for France to leave NATO. The report also prompted Poland to admit the country hosted a CIA secret prison. The UN, meanwhile, has called for those US officials responsible for torture to be prosecuted.